All right, let's take a look at this expression, negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 9 all over negative 2. And this one's easy to calculate because square root of 9 becomes 3, so this will be a rational expression. So one of my answers is negative 4 plus 3 all over negative 2, which is negative 1 over negative 2, which simplifies to a positive 1/2. And then I'm also going to have negative 4 minus 3 all over negative 2, which is negative 7 over negative 2, which is a positive 7/2. All right, so I am going to argue that this expression is the same as 4 plus or minus square root of 9 all over 2, and that this is a simpler version of that expression because I have fewer symbols, fewer negatives. And how I got that is I divided this negative 4 by negative 1 to get the positive 4. I divided this but 2 by negative 1 to get the positive 2. And then I also divided here by a negative 1. But I don't need an extra negative symbol out front of the square root of 9 because if I have 4 plus negative square root of 9, that's the same as 4 minus the square root of 9. And if I have 4 minus a negative the square root of 9, that's the same as 4 plus the square root of 9. So I don't need that extra negative symbol because I will get 4 minus root 9 and 4 plus root 9 in my calculations. So now let's look at these two answers. I have 4 plus 3 over 2, and that simplifies to 7/2. And then I'll have 4 minus 3 all over 2, that simplifies to 1/2. And I got the same values when I simplified, but the expression was much simpler to work with without all those negatives. All right, now let's take a look at this expression because this one's irrational, and so it looks a little more complicated with these irrational expressions, but we're thinking about it the same way. So the first thing I need to do is simplify my square root. 6 times 4 is 24, so that's 2 root 6 all over negative 4. And now my common factor is a 2, but since I want those negatives to divide out, I'm going to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. So then I will have negative 8 divided by negative 2, which is a positive 4. The 2 divided by 2 is a negative 1, but since I have the plus or minus, I'm just going to make it root 6, and then negative 4 divided by a negative 2 is a positive 2. So we're going to say that 4 plus or minus root 6 all over 2 is the simplified version of the expression negative 8 plus or minus root 24 over negative 4. If you were to have this version, negative 4 plus or minus square root of 6 over negative 2, we're going to say that's not simplified because there are negative symbols that you do not need, as we saw in the previous slide. Thanks for listening.